Okay, so the voice that you're hearing is Raymond Tyler. We are live here at the Soul Connection, Sam's Bar and Grill. We do this every Monday night, and we're starting a new segment called 1,000 Words. I'll probably change the name like 82 times, but anyway, I'm here with producer, rapper, DJ, poet Thaddeus Gaskins, otherwise known as Thad G, otherwise known as Thad G Whippy. Back in the day,
man. You would go there.
He's holding the classic Public Enemy 12-inch. That's right, a big CD for Rebel Without a Pause. Actually, Rebel Without a Pause was like the C side. The A side was My Uzi Weighs a Ton, which actually ain't a bad track, but everybody knows Rebel Without a Pause. So I guess what I want to ask you is, when you see that 12-inch and when you hear that music, what comes to mind? What do you think about?
A good sonic piece, a piece that was well put together. It's like one of those classic ones you hear, like well, we won't mention any names on nobody else's records right now, not hating, but if you hear a good classic album, you already know that that's a classic that you're gonna have, like one of those must-haves in the tape deck or CD, you know, change it when you have it in the car.
Well, what comes to mind when you think about the time period that we were in when Rebel Without a Pause came out? Do you remember where you were the first time you heard the song, or?
I first heard the song, I was at a club one night, and it was just like deep hip-hop, and this was one of the first ones that came out.
Did they play the intro?
Yeah, they played the intro, they played everything. They played the intro, and then I think a week after that, they performed at Uptown Complex in Atlantic City, where I went to go see. No, matter of fact, I'd be wrong. I was performing with a rap group at that time, but Public Enemy was the main group that you had to go see, and everybody from around the way was performing. And at that time, I was just getting on my little DJ thing. But to see Flav, to see Terminator X, to see Griff, to see Chuck and everybody else perform, S1W, all of them was just like bananas, because you knew as soon as that one came on, it was over.
Well, can you talk to us about how different that record was for the time period? It's still different. I can't think of another record that sounds like Rebel Without a Pause from start to finish.
It was distinctive when, you know, as soon as you heard it, when it came on, you knew from the horns coming on to how the beats came in hard. It wasn't commercial at all.
Talk to me about the tea kettle whining in the background.
That was the sax, actually. That was actually a member of James Brown band. I'm not sure. I know the drummer was Clyde Stubblefield, and I think it was Maceo on the horns, and that's actually from a James Brown sample. But the way it was looped when it came in, it was just, you knew that it was going to be a sick party when that came up. If you knew, yeah, good DJ, they could go back to back with that and just put that on and just go before they even hit the first verse. It was just bananas, because that came on, and as soon as you heard that just go on, you know, I do a bad horn imitation. Right. It was sick. It was just sick.
For me, it was like that was the song that I wanted to grab a good girl to dance with, because I knew, like, what you didn't want to be. You didn't want to be the man out with nobody to dance with when that joint came on.
And again, if you was with somebody who was just as militant as you, like speaking as a female, you was on the floor just on with it, with no question. But this was like a militant anthem to like what everybody else was hearing back then. Because around that time when everybody was coming out, you had a lot of dudes that was just rough with it, and I guess, as they call it, the hardcore 17 back then. If you really think about it, go back to one of your first Public Enemy joints and read the liner notes on who Chuck says is the hardcore 17 and everybody else. You'll understand a little hip-hop history for you. But check it out, and it just goes into distinctively where he names and gives props to everybody else that was in the rap game at that time, that was doing music that was totally different from the normal. So when you get that, that's what I consider a classic, where it doesn't go into, like, you know, a box and it's typed where this is the music of that time. this can still be played at a jam today, and guaranteed there'll be some heads on the floor that'll get up on this.
Okay.
Most definitely. I think unequivocally, without a doubt, if you play Rebel Without a Pause and you put this on there, I think heads would definitely get up on that.
Anything else you want to say about the record before I let you go?
Like I said, a sonically good piece, and what I mean by that is a piece that was put together from start to finish, where you heard distinctively everything, and you could know the different characteristics in that album, from the drums to the voice to the scratching to the production-wise, from, like I said, from A to Z, and that is always going to be a timeless piece.
You do have, for one single, you have a lot of stuff going on in the song Rebel Without a Pause. You got, not Farrakhan. Oh, I can't think of the gentleman who starts off on the record who's saying brothers and sisters. I want to say Khalid Muhammad, but it may not be. It starts off with brothers and sisters. I don't know what this world is coming to. You go from that to the sax, or the sounds like a tea kettle. Of course, you have the rhymes, and then as you get toward the end of the record, they bring in Terminator X to Get Busy from Pee Wee Herman.
You have a bunch of things that are going on, but like I said, when it's a good piece that comes through, everything is distinctly heard from the beginning of the brothers and sisters. I don't know what this world is coming to, and it comes on with the stabs, and then straight on with the horns coming through, and the distinctive voice of as Chuck said it back then, he was the bass, and Flavor Flav was the treble, when they were doing like real, not militant, but socially aware commentary and dialogue in the records that was just coming through, where it made a whole, at that time, a whole genre of music out of its own from just that start.
Right.
You know,
right.
so it was distinctive in that piece alone, because you got that, and when it came through, you knew that this was going to be one of those joints where 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, I can play this anywhere. I can play this in a park. I can have this going on. I mean, I don't expect you to play it at the barbecue and have it going crazy, but if you wanted to, you can get that one going off. But definitely, without shadow of a doubt, Rebel Without a Pause, timeless, classic, without question. Without question.
Thank you so much for taking time and talking about our single file record, I guess.
Yeah,
Public Enemies. You're gonna get yours.
When
Uzi weighs a ton.
Yeah.
Rebel Without a Pause.
Uh-huh.
All right, thanks.
No doubt. No doubt.